Bienvenidos amigos, welcome to Inktober Day 6. Today's challenge was Sword, and there were a lot of possible things I could have done for this. I thought of medieval knights, samurai. I was thinking of the last Transformers movie, doing an Optimus Prime where he had a sword. I haven't actually seen it, but all his toys had a sword, so I assume that it played a role in the movie somewhere. Sword in the Stone was actually one that I started sketching, but I wasn't really feeling it. And then I thought of Megazord. Sword, Zord, Megazord, it works out somehow. I loved the Power Rangers when I was a kid. I still love Sentai, Japanese monster movies, that kind of thing today. And I absolutely loved the big robot fights. And I had the Megazord toy when I was a kid. I wish I knew where it still was. And so I thought, that's it, that's perfect. And that's, nice, simple design. This won't take me too long, right? I should be able to knock this one out in an hour, maybe a couple of hours. And oh boy, how wrong I was. This is like the third or fourth day in a row. I thought this will be a quick, simple design, and it ends up being longer than the day previously. This was 4 or 5 hours to get all this done. And you know what? It looks amazing. One thing this challenge has definitely afforded me to do is the chance to try out things I would normally be too afraid to do. And now that I've got some momentum going, I really feel like it's coming together properly. I'm actually able to try some of this stuff. In this case, it's rather than having a straight Megazord pose looking forward or just one of the typical ones. Because I looked up some Megazord reference images, and in every pose you see him from the front and looking up, and I thought he's a samurai. I mean, he's got the samurai helmet. He's mobile, so I thought, why not try for a more dynamic, samurai-inspired pose, something that shows Megazord knows some swordplay. And I thought of this side-on pose where his sword is raised behind him, ready to strike. And I started out with sketching just a human figure and drawing the armor in over the top of it, because essentially Megazord is still, at the end of the day, still a dude in a suit. And I would have liked to make it a bit bulkier. I think if I draw Megazord again, I'm going to try to make his chest, his forearms, and definitely his legs all a bit chunkier to better reflect it. But at the same time, I think that would have interfered with what I was going for in the pose, that sense of dynamic action about to strike. And I've never successfully, I think, pulled off a drawing of a pose like this. And this really, I'm so proud of this. I really am. And once I had the pose down, I started going in and adding all the details. Everyone always tells me my robots are the best. Like, that's my thing. I mean, I'm trying to expand my abilities to figure drawing, but I do love drawing robots, and I do love, in particular, the details. I've always loved that ever since I was a little kid. Going in, drawing all the little mechanical details, the metallic panels, all the areas of shininess, all the little connections. And that's really what makes a robotic drawing pop, and what makes it look amazing is the details. I try not to go too overboard, because if you go too overboard with details, if you draw too many links, too many panels, it starts to look too busy, and you start to lose what was essentially the shape of the robot. It starts to look a little, well, sick, actually, in my opinion. So I've tried to add a few there, but not go crazy. And as I said, I've always loved that ever since I was a little kid. I remember once in primary school we had to draw a device of some kind, and I ended up agonizing over this gigantic reactor looking thing that would take care of your pets, with sections for each individual, like, birds, cats, dogs, small things like hamsters and mice, and it would automatically feed them all. And I spent hours and hours and hours on this, and my teacher loved it so much she wanted to put it on display in the room, and unfortunately something happened to it. I can't recall what, so I drew it again from scratch, and I was happy to do so. I think I was especially happy because I was given class in time to do it while everyone else was keeping busy with boring work while I was getting to draw something to feed your cats automatically. And it was all in the details. I remember drawing in all the little circuit boards, all the wires, all the connections, and instantly being like, this is what I dig doing. And I think I've got to try and get back to drawing robots more, because I've been focusing on figures and the organic for a little bit. And I would love to get back to drawing some. I've been trying to draw some Transformers lately, but stopping myself. So this is definitely showing me that it'll be okay. It's all gonna be okay. If I jump back into it, if I just relax, have fun with it, I can actually, this is something I'm capable of. A little note there, I tried to draw in with a whiteout pen to draw some highlights, but unfortunately it came out a little bit blobbier than I intended, and I had to go over the top of it. Well, it's all about playing with new art materials, right? So here he is, the mighty Megazord. I'm not sure the Japanese name, but I love this. I really do. This is something I would have, even a month ago, even a week ago, I would have never thought myself able to do something like this. This kicks ass, and tune in tomorrow for more.